Tonight, the debate on the Newshour at 10. Mallya's good times to end.
Ladies and gentlemen, Vijay Mallya, the willful defaulter, has been struck by a double whammy tonight. The man who owes Indian taxpayers 7,000 crore rupees faces an arrest request, finally, from India's largest public bank that loaned him 1,600 crore rupees. A plea to remove the willful defaulter tag also stands, thankfully, quashed by the Delhi court. But that's not the only story. The banks who let Mallya party on India's money will face a few serious questions on the Newshour tonight.
He owns one of the only two private Airbus commercial jets in India, a jet that redefines luxury. He owns the luxurious yacht, the Indian Empress, that hosts the annual Formula One parties. And this is the Grand Kingfisher Villa in plush Goa, worth over 90 crore. Yet, in 4 years, he hasn't paid a single penny to his lenders. As Vijay Mallya plans his escape, top bank SBI finally wakes up.
His legal team seems quite confident that there is no question of any arrest order being issued by the tribunal, because it cannot really issue any such order until the entire judicial procedure is complete. If SBI really wants criminal action to happen, then they will have to file this at a criminal court, file a criminal breach of plea, which they haven't done so far.
But is it too little, too late? Times now learns the CBI in the past 4 years sent multiple reminders to two banks to take action against Vijay Mallya, but that did not happen. In fact, we asked one of the lenders to Kingfisher why they didn't act, and they said they completely cooperated with the CBI.
What I'm saying, we have responded to all. Whatever information was asked for, we are given. Even again now, if you want any further information, we will be ready to give. There is nothing to hide.
It almost seems as though the banks were either fooled or didn't really want to go after the king of good times all this while. The guarantees given by Mallya, including the Kingfisher trademark and the helicopters, are now worth nothing, and the Kingfisher shares have been reduced to just pieces of paper.
So where has the money gone? India's top sleuth blames banks for the mess.
The undue delay in identifying and reporting such a fraud has jeopardized the cause of justice to the offenders, giving them the benefit and the opportunity to divert funds and destroy evidence.
Just days before the SBI moved to act against the willful defaulter, Times now questioned why he was being given the long rope.
The common man of India has subsidized this man 7,000 crore rupees and is running away with it. This is theft.
The person in charge of the banks, the consortium of banks, should be held up. There is no accountability in this country. That's the problem.
CBI, SBI, the market regulator SEBI, and a government that wants defaulters pulled up. But can they stop Mallya before he plans a London sojourn that he promised while stepping down from his liquor company? Bureau Report, Times Now.
Okay, we have a bit of breaking news on this story, and Times Now's deputy news editor Tanvi has some more inputs, which are also, which give a different spin on it, about how banks were actually fighting with the CBI, not cooperating with the CBI, writing back to the CBI that we are not going to file a complaint despite the information you're giving us. Tanvi, tell us more.
It's absolutely shocking, Arnab, the way these public sector banks seem to have let the taxpayers down. Different multiple reminders over the past 4 years to multiple banks, and they still have taken no action. For example, in April 2012, CBI sent a self-constrained note to one of the banks saying, act against Vijay Mallya. And that didn't happen. Within 2 weeks, they replied back saying that they will not file a complaint. Again, in 2014, 2 years later, another reminder is sent to that bank saying take action. But they don't. They reply within a week saying they are not going to take any action. Another reminder is sent to a second bank. Now, these are lenders to Kingfisher. These are lenders to whom Kingfisher and Vijay Mallya owe 7,000 crores. But they refuse to take any action. The second bank, in fact, turns around and says, well, the onus lies on SBI. They are heading this consortium. Please tell them to go and file a complaint. Completely washing their hands off it. It makes one wonder whether any of them actually want that money back. Who is it that wants Vijay Mallya to be given this long rope, Arnab? That's the big question. Why are banks letting him get away?
Well, you know, Tanvi, this is so shocking. And what worries me the most is Mallya's attitude. Mallya has such a culture of entitlement. And I know why Mallya feels this way is because he thinks he's got many powerful, connected political friends. He's going to get away with it. If our country's law has any meaning, drag this man back, kicking and screaming, make him face the Indian taxpayer, and this is the time to do it. You know what he says? Let's say, welcome our guest, Parvez Damania, with me in the studio. He has been former Executive Director for Kingfisher Airlines. Misra, President of the Navbharat Democratic Party. Ramesh Vaidyanathan, Founder and Managing Partner of Advaya Legal. They're anti-Mallya, anti-bank. For bank anti-Mallya are N Gupta, former ED of SEBI, and Abhay Aima, who's a market analyst. They are for bank anti-Mallya and pro-Mallya anti-bank. Tonight are Aryama Sundaram and Parag Tripathi. Aryama Sundaram and Parag Tripathi, senior advocates of the Supreme Court. I don't know if I've got the positions correct. I got my position wrong? Okay, my position.
I think you're.
Okay, so
you're not right there. Sorry.
All right. This is what you do when you tell it on air. You know, you misconstrue the position of one of India's finest lawyers. I hope you won't drag me to court. Vijay Mallya would be very happy if you do that. Anyway, who cares about Vijay Mallya? He says tonight to PTI, "Aisa nahi ki bewakufi se band ho gaya." There were genuine reasons. My company didn't shut down for some stupid reason. There were some other reasons, he says. Asked about his regrets. R.K. Misra, let me tell you, asked about his regrets. He says, I have no regrets. The only regret is Kingfisher is not flying when oil price is low. This is the arrogance of this man. And this is a country. R.K. Misra, I want you to start the debate. This is a country where a farmer called Satyanarayan Reddy from Kodur village in Krishna district in Andhra Pradesh in 2008 borrows 2 lakh rupees from a money lender. He's unable to pay, so the money lender gets him arrested. And he spends 2 months in rigorous imprisonment. When he's released, his creditors also threaten to send his wife in jail. So frustrated, this man commits suicide. And here we have this fellow, Vijay Mallya, who owes 7,000 crores to taxpayer money to banks and parties with politicians and profligate columnists who all like to be part of a 100 crore party at taxpayer expense in his house in Goa, and we're supposed to just stand there and do nothing about it. R.K. Misra, can we bring back Mallya kicking and screaming? Should we do that?
Arnab, is very well known fact that there is, that 1 lakh crore of NPAs, which is almost 25% of our total NPAs, with only 30 people in this country. 30 people have taken 1 lakh crore, and they are the biggest name in the industry. Of course, it includes Mr. Vijay Mallya. Now, why it happens? As you rightly said, if you're a farmer, if you are a normal consumer, take 2 lakh loan, you'll go to jail. Take 2,000 crore loan, you'll not go to jail, you'll be doing the deal with the MD and chairman of the bank. See, most of these loans are given as interested party loans. In case of Mr. Mallya, I don't know who was interested party, how the loans were given. The airline wasn't doing well. They kept giving the loans. It is not the question of bad judgment. It is the question of bad intention with which the loans were given. And Vijay Mallya personally has been in trouble with their partner company Diageo, which has a stake 54% in USL. They found 7,000 crores of USL money was transferred to Kingfisher without their knowledge, and which finally ended up somewhere else. Nobody knows where that money went.
He can spend his own money. My problem is not that he spends money.
75 million he is getting. That also is going to UK.
No. He can spend his own money.
7,000 crores due here.
No. I tell you this.
Because
I don't know.
And you want to run away to UK.
No, I don't know. See, he can spend his own money. Okay. And by the way, it's an open debate. I'm not taking turns. So let's jump into the debate, gentlemen. I say, Mr. Mallya, if you're a profligate, if you're irresponsible, if you like to spend money, but let it be your own money, Mr. Mallya. Don't have fun on taxpayers' money. Just because you may manage to make a fool of the system and don't think you're going to get away with it. Now the point is, in Mallya's own state of Karnataka, and Abhay Aima, everyone feel free to come in. I don't know why you're holding yourself back. In Karnataka, a rubber cultivator called C.C. Joseph committed suicide this month after borrowing for his daughter's wedding and being unable to pay back 78,000 rupees. 78,000, not 78,000 crore.
Arnab.
This man owes Arnab. 7,000 crores of taxpayer money. And you know what he does with it? Let me show. And all those columnists, I know there are some columnists who always like to party with Mallya. All those columnists should write a column today on what it is they feel about Mallya. This, ladies and gentlemen, is what Mr. Mallya has done with your money. No, I want to show this. I want to show this today. Abhay, look at this. Abhay, look at this. This is what Vijay Mallya has done. He has bought a yacht that's close to worth $100 million, I'm told. Close to $100 million. And in Maharashtra, 2,590 farmers committed suicide. And this man takes away our money and buys himself a yacht like this. I mean, what are we? Banana Republic, Abhay?
Arnab, we have to understand that, there is a fiduciary requirement on behalf of the bank because you are holding the money on trust.
No.
So first I would go to the borrower. The borrower holds the money in trust. Okay, so before you are lending it to someone, there needs to be due diligence. Yes, if you have done that, it is fine. But if you have not done that, or if you have violated any rules, then you are violating trust money which is given to you. In US, there used to be an act called Glass-Steagall Act, whereby a bank would not even be allowed to invest in the equity market because it was public money and you can't fool around with it. Now coming to the borrowing side, I think it is the saddest state of affairs that you think you have achieved something great just because you have been able to take the system for a ride. The system is to be blamed, but you can't be let off so easily and flaunt your wealth around. Even if there is a legality which is protected.
There is no legality. No, Abhay, there is no legality. People are cheating us.
That will
people are cheating. No. There's no legality issue here. I'm sorry. There is no legality issue here. There is no legality issue. Ramesh Vaidyanathan wants to say something. Ramesh.
Arnab, let me say this, that if you and I, default on, let's say, our credit card payment by a week or so, you will be hounded by the banks. So here is a case of somebody who has borrowed nearly 7,800 crores over an 8-year period, okay? And he was continuously pampered. He then goes on to become a politician and he starts currying favors in terms of ferrying politicians back and forth from Bombay and Delhi and Bangalore. And then what do you have? So this is a classic case of crony capitalism. And now we have a situation where we are looking to arrest him well after he has liquidated all his assets. Where were the banks when he was actually negotiating a deal with Diageo? I think the question is, there was perhaps a conspiracy. I don't have evidence to show this, but perhaps there was a conspiracy to actually let him off the hook.
No. What's it? Ramesh,
taking some steps.
Ramesh, look here. Let's be clear how the system works. I want Aryama Sundaram and all to come in on this. Please understand. It's a very, very simple issue. The CBI was writing to the banks, Aryama Sundaram. The banks were saying we won't do anything. The CBI is writing letters every day to the banks. Please do something file a complaint. The banks did nothing all this while. That's the fact. They didn't touch him. Aryaman.
In fact, Arnab, what you're touching on is the most important thing. You see, there are different aspects to this entire case. Take this 7,800 crores of debt for a large company in India is not uncommon. So till that stage, one can say, all right, the bank felt that this was the bank's job.
Mr. Aryaman, whenever a loan is given, it's given against a factory, plant, machinery.
That's far. Let me just finish what I'm saying. I have a... Look, allow me to finish because there is something I'm saying. You see, the money being given, the loan being given at that time is one thing in itself. What I find reprehensible is that it is not as though this is something which has happened overnight and yesterday we have suddenly found there were problems. This was festering over the last at least 6-7 years. It exploded more than 4 years ago, 5 years ago, and the banks did nothing at all. That is where I find...
Yeah, but who controls the banks, sir? No, sir, who controls the banks?
They did nothing, exactly.
No, but who controls the banks?
Let me tell you, the banks would not have done it for you. They would not have done it for me. The banks would not have done it, as was so correctly said earlier. But when it's 7,000 crores involved, suddenly the banks seem to care far less than recovering 200 rupees. Now this is the fact which I think should be looked into by CBI also.
Sir, I think we are letting frauds. We are letting frauds get away. I'm repeatedly giving examples of the other side. And please feel free. Parag Tripathi also. N Gupta is joining us, former Executive Director of SEBI. RK Misra is already there. No, my point is simply this. In Akola and Maharashtra, and I'm opening up the phone lines right now. Viewers, if you want to see Vijay Mallya arrested and in Tihar jail, call tonight. No, I'm telling you. No, it's not something, and I'm asking you tonight. I'm asking you, pull out the list of people who party with Vijay Mallya. And ask those people. And by the way, people who have blacked out news about Vijay Mallya even now. Some of these people, I don't want to take names. They blacked out the news. They're happy to collaborate with Vijay Mallya. Talk about the good times. They're happy to collaborate with Vijay Mallya. They don't have the guts to put out a news report on Vijay Mallya. They know about what's happening with Vijay Mallya, but they will not report it tonight. Because Vijay Mallya has so much influence within certain sections of the media. And certain sections among our political class. In this country, in Akola in Maharashtra. In Akola, a money lender forced a man to sell his kidney to repay a loan of 20,000 rupees. And Vijay Mallya says 7,000 crore rupees I loot from the taxpayer and I'm going to go away because I have political friends, because I have friends in the media. No, Parvez Damania, think of the logic of it. It's not about capital, it's about the misuse of political connection.
Last flight flew on October 2012. The license was cancelled on February 2013. After the license was cancelled, the banks have to wait for another 3 to 4 years to act. The minute the license was cancelled, that means the airline was not going to fly anymore. So shouldn't have the banks woken up at that stage? Why did they wait for so many years before saying he's a willful defaulter? The bank should have acted immediately.
Yeah, no, but that's not the fundamental point tonight. The point is this, that a man in Mangalore is forced to live in a forest in his car after failing to repay a loan of 50,000 rupees to a cooperating housing society. Who allowed Vijay Mallya to run away to the UK? Yes, please, Parag. Yes, please, Parag.
Hello. Arnab, I think you're right. It's really a question of accountability and national accountability of our financial system. Because whereas we can't be too judgmental, but you're absolutely right, the writing was on the wall. It has not happened, as Aryama says, suddenly last night. What is it that the banks have really done? And how is it that the banks have not done anything? And what is it that the rest of the system is doing when this is happening? So it's a question really of accountability, where these aspects have to be gone into, and somebody has to answer them.
No, but Parag, tell me, why would you? No, Parag, if a person, Abhay and Parag explain this to me. If a person is unwilling to repay a loan, why would you give him a further loan? Why would you provide loans to a person whose company in 2009 reportedly lays off 100 pilots on the grounds of huge losses and capacity reduction? That means he has no credit worthiness. Why would you continue to provide loans to that man?
No, you're right.
Yes, Abhay.
You're right, Arnab. Unless you feel for good reason that you can get that money back, you're right. And in Kingfisher, there was no such issue.
No, so then why would you
get that money back?
I understand, but why would you provide loans to a man?
Unfortunately, you try and do it to just to keep your balance sheet clean.
But that's fraud, Abhay. Why would you provide?
You're trying to give further loans, which is.
You know, what balance sheet?
So
what
that
balance sheet?
Abhay,
Listen,
Abhay,
why would you provide loans?
And I hope, this is something.
Abhay, why would you provide loans to a man whose company reports a net loss of 418 crores and shows a debt of 6,000 crores on its balance sheet? Why would you do that?
No. As I was telling you, I think that is what the unfortunate practice is that sometimes banks give loans so that he pays back.
What's unfortunate?
And he doesn't show as a defaulter.
No. What's unfortunate about it? It's very unfortunate. But why are the banks not being held to account? There are internal audit warnings against such a move. No, 1 second. There are banks, I'm not taking names, who have an internal audit warning against such a move. Why would such a loan be extended to a loss-making entity in the first place despite warnings? Why?
If there is a slip up on this, the people or the organization should be held up for it.
To believe that company is going to turn the corner.
No. The CBI in August 2014, Aryama Sundaram, this is getting more confounding. The CBI in August 2014 launches a preliminary inquiry into a loan of 900 crore rupees extended to Kingfisher by IDBI Bank, despite the company's negative credit rating and net worth. Why would IDBI, which is the PSU, extend a loan of that magnitude to Mallya? Why would they?
This is almost like what we call chasing the buck. Because it's almost like throwing good money after bad. Now, when we are talking these kind of volumes, these kind of huge volumes of throwing good money after bad, I can understand a person who is in debt for about 6 lakhs needs another 3 lakhs to see out a very bad season, and the bank feels there's a chance for it. But from what you are saying, and which is a fact which we all know, for 6 years ago the writing was on the wall, more than clear, and that is what I'm finding fault with. Rather than taking steps to A, arrest the flow, B, recover what was already there, more good money was thrown after that. And can it be shown today that the bank had actually analyzed the situation, found that if more money was put in, then the company will turn the corner? There is nothing to show that. On the contrary, it's a clear case of throwing good money after bad, which is why I'm saying the bank's complicity in this matter has to be looked into. Because it's because of the way the banks have behaved with public money that this has happened as much as it has. So far as the man is concerned, he's like Nero, who's fiddling while Rome burnt, while his Kingfisher employees couldn't even get salaries and were starving. He was busy having parties, which he still does all the time. In December, he had a party in Goa for his birthday. He has parties in wherever else because he doesn't care. Because as far as he's concerned, he says that's a company liability, I have nothing to do with it. Which is why today's application by the State Bank of India, acting under the Civil Procedure Code, has a lot of sense in it. In that, let him furnish security for the whole claim. Otherwise, let him go to a civil prison.
Mr. Aryaman, we keep talking of just the banks, but what about the other public sector undertaking? The fuel companies have 1,000 crore pending, something like 480 crores of the Airport Authority of India. What about these companies? How will the money get recovered? And today we are talking of 7,800 crores. That was in 2012 with interest. What is it today? And again, whenever a bank gives money,
I agree with you.
They give against an asset or something. Here, all aircrafts are leased. Every offices are at the Airport Authority office. So, against what assets did the bank give the money? What hypothecation do they have? Today, recovering, there is nothing. Except one Kingfisher house building, which is about 12,000 square feet, which is worth negligible, and one Kingfisher villa. How many banks are going to fight over this asset that there's no assets to recover? The leasing companies have taken away the aircrafts. The Airport Authority have taken away the offices. All you have is some staircases and tractors.
So the question is actually different. The question to be asked, R.K. Misra, is the Indian taxpayer has lesser disposable income for himself. Thanks to there being no restructuring of tax slabs, Mallya walks away with 7,000 crores. Indian taxpayer, Mr. R.K. Misra, will now be paying tax on his Employee Provident Fund corpus. His lifetime savings will also be now taxed. But Vijay Mallya will walk away without returning 7,000 crore rupees. So we, the Indian taxpayer, will continue to slog away so that Vijay Mallya can go ahead and buy this for himself, this luxury yacht.
Arnab,
so we are actually working day and night. We are working day and night out here. N Gupta. Yes, okay.
He has royally fooled. He has royally fooled us. He has been hand in glove with bank management, and he has managed to get this money without having any collateral, without having any viable business. And the man who has been publicly telling that I don't give a damn, and banks going, IDBI giving 900 crore as late as 3 years ago, it is absolutely looks like a criminal conspiracy between the bank and him. In fact, not only he should not be allowed to leave the country, I think the people who are at the helm of the affairs at this bank should also be held criminally liable to verify whether all the process and procedures of due diligence was conducted.
N Gupta.
These were given to him because this is public money.
N Gupta
is going to go for NPA.
N Gupta, why should
tell you, Arnab?
Yeah, N Gupta, should there be an investigation against the role of the banks themselves? Yes, Mr. Gupta.
I would say that as a former banker, I would always suggest that any banker who is at fault should be investigated without any problem. But here we are missing a very big point. The big point is that who are the protectors of Mr. Mallya? If you see, Mr. Mallya had protection all over the place. He was member of Civil Aviation Committee of the Parliament when he was running an airline, one of the big conflict of interest situation. Then he was member of Fertilizer Committee when he has a Mangalore Chemicals and Fertilizer. Now when banks have declared him as a willful defaulter, the government appoints him as a Rajya Sabha committee member in October 2015. Now what message we are giving to the society? That a person who has been declared willful defaulter is being made members of various parliamentary committee, and that to those committees where he is a conflict of interest. The second issue is this: in this country we have a different law system. One law system is for people like Mr. Mallya, who has got power of money, who has got power of politics behind it, and nobody can touch him. The second is people like me and you. Even if we default for 1,000 rupees or 1 lakh rupee, tomorrow there will be somebody at my door and I will be dying of shame that somebody has come to recover money from me. But there is no shame for such people. Then there are poor people who do not have money to either borrow, lend or lose. The other issue is very important is this, that we cannot say that bankers are at the fault. The issue is that we very clearly know that the system in this country is such that the banks have to undergo lot of things. I was reading the circular of willful default of Reserve Bank of India. If you see the thing, to declare a person willful default, you have to go through 3 committees, so many notices, so many things, and all the personal hearing. So it takes 1 year to declare a person willful default. Then what happens? The person goes to various courts from Calcutta, Delhi and everywhere, and the courts are very eager to say, oh, this person is not a willful defaulter. Then you start the process all over. So the issue is, and the legal system, I will give you a couple of examples. SEBI had passed an order against DSQ software way back in 2006-2007, recovering 900 crore of investors' money. What happened? Honorable said pass an order that first SEBI should identify the name of people who have lost money.
True.
Then when the SEBI says this is the money, the Dinesh Dalmia will pay that much amount. So the court made Dinesh Dalmia the convict custodian of the stolen money. SEBI filed an appeal in Supreme Court. From 2007 till now the appeal is lying and no action is taken. So what type of system we are talking?
True.
Unless until we take a system where the financial crime, which in my opinion is worse than murders, is settled promptly at a centralized place. Our problem is this: if I have money in my pocket, I can delay the thing as long as.
Well,
and the same thing was happened in Sahara case. But the Honorable Supreme Court set an example that howsoever mighty you are going to cool your heels.
Mr. Gupta, Kingfisher shut shop in 2012. It's taken 4 years for our PSU banks to appeal to the courts to impound Mallya's passport. That itself tells us a story. I thank you all. We have more information coming in on this story. We are going to follow it up. I thank you all for joining me on chat number 2 on the Newshour tonight. Thank you.